And another case we have to pay attention is foreign arrivals. Thai and overseas who would like to enter Thailand right now. It's still the case in point, and Prime Minister has mentioned about these cases as well.
That's right. He was quite concerned by the prospect of many more Thais returning from overseas and potentially carrying with them the virus. So what he tried to stress in his address today is that if these people can hold off their return to Thailand, they better do it. And the government is willing to consider offering some kind of help package to these people. The way that many Thai people are getting from the government, something like the cash handout of 5,000 baht a month for those who are impacted by the coronavirus. So similar assistance could be extended to the Thais overseas who are being stranded, wanting to come back, but are being discouraged from doing so.
So in a way, Thailand is under lockdown situation already, Kun Thepchai, because no planes can be boarded at Suvarnabhumi airport. But of course, the Thai government is still consider to help Thais, some Thais who have made a request before to return to Thailand. And today and tomorrow, there will be some groups of Thai overseas to be returning to Thailand. So can you tell us more about tomorrow? There will be more Thais arriving Thailand?
Yes, sure. So as you mentioned, with the ban on flights until the 18th of April, but of course, for Thai repatriation flights that are arranged in advance prior, of course, that is arranged by the government. The flights that we have arriving today are from the Netherlands and from Singapore, 15 and 18 Thai nationals respectively. For tomorrow, we still have from Russia and Japan, and of course in due course from the United States as well.
So these Thai people have already made clear that they have the so-called fit-to-fly certificates, right, and letters of recommendation from the embassies or consulates. So these people have all been cleared as far as these documents are concerned.
Yes. In principle, every Thai embassy is in touch with the Thai citizens and are aware of their request and have coordinated closely in terms of all the documentation that is necessary, the registration to inform of the intention to return. But of course, I have to say that each country is different. They have different circumstances and different timing as well. Some countries are big countries, so the Thai citizens who want to return live in different states or cities far apart from each other. So it's a matter of management, which is important. The underlying principle is, of course, there is the repatriation part. There's two methods of repatriation, actually. The first is, of course, reciprocal flights. Of course, it's different according to each location. And the second type, of course, which is still being discussed for some countries, is about charter flights to specific destinations. So there's the repatriation reciprocal commercial flight on one side and the charter flights on the other side. Both are being discussed.
I see, but I'm sure that the Foreign Ministry must already have notified all these returnees that they would be subject to a 14 days of quarantine either at the state or local level, right? So that there won't be any kind of misunderstanding that we saw last week.
Yes, correct, Kun Thepchai. The embassy has made clear to all the Thai citizens requesting for repatriation that they have to agree to enter the state quarantine process. It's a 100% state quarantine process. So the challenge, which of course the agencies are up to speed and discussing this, is of course to coordinate between three issues. The first is the number of Thais wanting to repatriate. The second is the readiness of the state quarantine sites. And the third is the readiness of the medical staff. So there are three factors to this mission. The mission approach has three important factors. And the agencies and the meeting yesterday of CCSA discussed this in detail to configure and link these three factors so that the mission can be successful. It's like three factors. So it's about triangulation of three factors, and management is the key word. Yes.
I see. See, the Prime Minister today issued an appeal to the Thais overseas that if they can hold off their return to Thailand, they better do so. And the government is ready to consider giving out some kind of financial assistance to them the way that many Thais are benefiting from now. So is it something that being discussed or has been finalized?
Yes, this is something that is being discussed. It has not. It's actually, as you mentioned, it's an appeal. So we ask for Thai citizens to hold off their return if possible, of course, because it's different. It's a different circumstances for every Thai person. Of course, some might be able to still stay in the country they reside in safely. Some would have to have a more urgent purpose to return. So that's an important. So it's been discussed in the meeting. Actually, the latest meeting of the CCSA is discussing this. So I can't tell you anything further. I don't have information on this, but it's still being discussed about the pros and cons of this matter.
And can you tell us, for Thai who want to repatriate to Thailand, where are they right now mostly?
Countries that we have are, for example, India, Iran, Australia, and Nepal. Those are the people, the Thais who live in those countries, not in transit and airports, who live in those countries but wish to return. And as I mentioned, the underlying principle is that there are two types: repatriation by commercial flight and charter flights. So if it's a big number, like those four countries I mentioned, discussion is underway for a possible charter flight.
The largest group of the Thais overseas seem to be those who are in our neighboring countries, like in Natapanu in Malaysia, for example. So what is the status now?
Yes, okay, so just now we were talking about Thais abroad who would be possibly entering by air, right? By air.
Yeah.
So if you go by land, that's another issue. So by land, actually now, yes, as you mentioned, there are a large number of Thai people who want to return. And there are 5 agencies, including the Foreign Ministry, Interior, and other agencies in Thailand discussing this about the capacity, which I mentioned, capacity of state quarantine. Capacity of state quarantine in the southern region near Malaysia. So that is, of course, most suitable and convenient for Thais wanting to return. In the border provinces, around 350 persons per day is the most appropriate entry by the land border entering from Malaysia, because we have to consider that the border checkpoints, not all are big. There are big checkpoints between Thailand and Malaysia, like Sungai Kolok or Sadao, and the smaller ones like Betong, Tam Malang, or Wang Pachan. So all these, we calculated the ideal number of people that can enter per day, so that the state quarantine capacity can service them.
And on the other hand, for the issue of foreigners who reside in Thailand right now, and with the issue of visa extension after the immigration office has extended deadline, have you got other requests so far?
Yes, well, firstly, I don't speak for immigration, but we're aware, of course, of the issues that foreign citizens have had. And of course, 2 days ago, that was announced as a notification of the Interior Ministry for visa extension. There are, we've learned of like some small or detailed requests of each, because this is actually like a across the board kind of exemption. So there are like specific cases which they ask us about. But of course, it's about the implementation agency answering this question.
So for the Thai who want to return to Thailand, is about 20,000. But each day, Can we say that Thailand can accommodate for about 200 each per day?
That is the discussion now, but 200 is only by airplane arrival only. And don't forget that there is the option of charter flights and repatriation flights, commercial flights. The number is, of course, not set by the foreign ministry alone. It's a discussion between many agencies. It's a line of communication, because when people travel in, the quarantine has to be ready. The medical staff has to be ready. But I don't want the public to view this as a queue, a queue to take turns to come in, or trying to come in before other people, and cutting the line. It's not a queue. It's about management. So most likely, not all flights will come at the same time anyways. As I mentioned just now, the one from Russia and Japan is tomorrow. Today was Netherlands and Singapore, and in the future US, AFS, whatever. By the time that the coordination takes place, they can space out and schedule the flights not to come in the same day for the best management purpose, for the best quarantine and control of communicable diseases. I think the Thai citizens will understand.
So back to the appeal by the Prime Minister for the Thais to hold off their return to Thailand if they can't. This is a message that the Foreign Ministry will sooner or later transmit to Thai people overseas, right?
Yes, all Thai embassies are in close communication with the Thai community, not in the sense of just point blank telling them about the regulations, but interacting, discussing with them to see their actual needs. There are a number, I believe, who don't actually have to return immediately at this time. So the embassies know this information and talk to them and take care of their well-being in the meanwhile. So if they don't want or don't have to come back yet, they are in touch with the embassy for anything that they need anyways. But for urgent cases, of course, so we come into that management process.
And overall, what's the difficulty that staff of Ministry of Foreign Affairs are facing in other countries, especially in trying to help Thai overseas?
Yes, Kunatha, thank you. That's a question I wanted to answer. That's very, very, very. Thank you for asking. As you know, there would be a kind of like a dilemma at the moment for every country now. What to do? I mean, when there's a risk of imported cases from outside, people are afraid that people flying in the country will bring in more infections. At the same time, it's the constitutional right of Thai people, of all citizens, to return to their country. And as the spokesperson has mentioned already as well, we of course have to facilitate the return. So it's kind of like a dilemma. It's sort of like a contradictory thing. So the foreign ministry works through this challenge. Okay, so what we found is that some citizens complain about the documents required by the Thai government, difficulty in getting the fit to fly, all the documents, which the embassy is addressing. Some are also concerned about the number that you mentioned, Kunatha, 200. They're concerned that they won't be able to get back, and that there'll be a long queue. So that's not the case. There's the option of other types of flights, anyways. So and sort of like we're in in between, on the way towards an important mission. And when we're on the way, people are naturally afraid that the mission won't work. So there is a sense of sort of like uneasiness sometimes among the Thai citizens abroad, which the Thai embassies have tried to address the best in the best possible way.
But do you have any idea exactly how many of the Thais who have registered to want to come back really need to come back?
Oh, okay. Well, I only know in the number of thousands who registered and officially informed of their intention to return. But among those who registered, I don't have information on who actually is urgently in need of coming back. Naturally, we can see that the citizens in countries that are most affected, where there is a pandemic, that might be more urgent. Thai citizens who live abroad and have homes, have houses, of course, that might not be that urgent. Who are married with foreign citizens, have foreign citizens in each country taking care of them, so that might not be urgent. So that's the distinguishment, but I don't have that figures exactly. As we go along each day, the embassy keeps track of this. That's why we have the incoming repatriation flights and possible other kinds of management, like from India in the future.
But they really have to have 2 documents still, fit to fly and certificate, medical certificate, to be in the quota of coming back.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you very much, Deputy Spokesman of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kun Natapanu Nopakun, for joining us and give us the clear picture of what's the status of Thai overseas who would like to return to Thailand at this juncture. Thank you very much indeed for your time.